Alright, guys. Best of 5 grand final. In the bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player is
INnoVation.
Sound good? I won't know because we've got a 90-second stream delay. Top left-hand side, our blue Terran player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming is
Cure.
I don't think Cure sounds so good in that one, huh? Does Kung Fu Cup count for a Ligulac? Literally everything counts for a Ligulac. That's why a lot of people will say a Ligulac's not a great rating, because a lot of players who play a lot of online cups will have an inflated rating versus players who don't play a lot. It's why it's pretty impressive when players like Cyril dominate a Ligulac, because he doesn't play a lot of online cups to boost his numbers, basically. So it's pretty crazy. What do I think everyone who doesn't live in the UK needs an explanation of what Greg's is? Or they could just come, or they could just come to the UK and get some. You have to come to the north of England for Greg's. They don't have Greg's in the south. Greg's is great, you know? That, this is amazing. At my local airport, the only shop open 24 hours is Greg's. It's the only shop that's open 24 hours. It's amazing. Greg's is life, man. It's great. So Arcane Wins says, Wardy, it seems you never stop streaming these days. Massive commitment to the senior showing. Hope SCT is giving you all the nutrients you need. Yeah, most of them. I mean, sadly, it apparently doesn't keep my hair in. All my hair's fallen out. That or I had a haircut. We'll still never figure that one out. That mystery. SCV coming up to the top. As we do set this up, Reaper dropping down from INnoVation, and going to be seeing the Depot dropping through, CC dropping down, Factory building up in the main, and it's going to be seeing the Hellion on the way out from INnoVation as well. So Reaper Hellion opening. He is going to be a little bit slow on the expansion, so it is going to be INnoVation to be a bit more aggressive early. His SCV here designed to literally help him fight this Reaper a bit more easily, and he takes a shot from his opponent's SCV, which means he loses the Reaper. So Cure is going to get the Reaper and the SCV, and it's a great start from Cure. No delay on his command center. Good early opening for that one. As we do see, the Reaper coming around to the bottom side. Trying to hop up, Hellion dealing some damage, and INnoVation will chase for the Reaper kill. There's a couple of Hellions coming through. And towards the center. Just gonna see the Reaper hopping up in the main. Couple of Reapers, couple of Hellions. Stop. We're gonna go to a tech lab. As you just see this setting up to go. I mean, Banshee and a Cyclone. We've seen INnoVation playing some Mech earlier. Gonna go cloak Banshees right away this time. There are Gregs down south. Yeah, but they don't embrace. There's only Gregs down south because Northerners go down south. People in the south don't embrace Gregs. You guys don't embrace Gregs properly. It's definitely a Northern thing. The Gregs in the south is also not as good as the Gregs in the north. It doesn't taste the same. Last time I went to the Gregs in the south, it was like, they didn't even make sausage, bean, and cheese melt. It's like, who the fuck doesn't do a sausage, bean, and cheese melt? Are you crazy? They're like, no, we only do the southern people food here. We do see the medevac coming in towards this main base, so we're going to be dropping down. Also in the south, there's like a Greg's in like a city, right? In the north, there's like, you know, if I walk down my high street, I live in like a shitty little town. 6 SCVs. Not bad. If I live in like a pretty small town. If I walk down the high street, it's like 300 meters long. There's 3 different Gregs within. I could walk to 3 different Gregs in like 30 seconds. And it's like, there's nobody here. There's like, nobody lives here. Nobody goes here. And it still does well enough to support 3 Gregs. It's crazy. Yeah, Hellion drop from Cure doing some good damage there. Picking off some SCVs in the early stages. As you do see the Cyclone getting the shot off to finish off a Banshee, so it's INnoVation down a lot of workers early. Hoping to maybe do something with this attack up, but it's looking unlikely with two Cyclones defensively and the Marines. You'll see our Macfield Accelerator setting up. Hyperfly Rotors coming in from INnoVation. We do just see the Banshee coming out over the left-hand side to try get in towards the main base. So Banshee coming up. And look to try and get around the back here, go off on some of these SCVs. Cyclone gets a lock on, pushes the Banshee away to the side. Oh, is just going to get that kill. So Banshee is going to get shot down. Cyclone able to pick that up. This is just going to be seeing the couple Reapers and Cyclone still hanging out. I mean, it's just good defense from Cure, putting himself in a pretty good spot. And keeping himself there. INnoVation's going to play this mech style again, which maybe keeps him alive despite being kind of quite far behind, because obviously it's quite hard to kill a mech player, but we'll see if it's going to be enough for him as he goes into his third CC. There is the extra factory building up. Again, just waiting for Macfield, waiting for Hyperflight Rotors. There's definitely ways back in the game, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's going to be an uphill battle. Absolutely going to be an uphill battle from here on out. As you see the few Cyclones, couple Reapers here. It's going to be seeing the shots firing away. Reaper gets shot down, and just going to be seeing the, again, Hyperflight finishing in a moment or two. And this Banshee continue to come up to the top. As we do just have the command center coming through as well. Morphing in towards an orbital command. Just going to be seeing the Cyclone still setting out. I mean, not really a lot being done, right? We're just sort of sitting back and trying to see what comes up next. Just kind of waiting this out, waiting to see what's going to happen. A couple tanks going to unsiege coming out over the left-hand side. It's going to be seeing a couple extra armories dropping in the back of the natural expansion. And I mean, the thing is, Q is starting to push, and the question is, does the mech keep INnoVation alive here? And I kind of feel like no, because he's only got 4 tanks. There's 2 Ravens with at least 2 Matrixes each on them. So yeah, it's pretty rough as we're going to be seeing the Banshees coming around from the top. Again, out over the right-hand side, going to be seeing a few SCVs getting picked away at in the third. So Banshee's doing something, but, well, it kind of comes down to these tanks. He's going to drop a massive order turret. He just wants to straight up kill the third base. I mean, that alone might just get INnoVation to get out of the game, right? I mean, Cyclones helping out, the Marines firing, a lot of SCVs going down on both sides of the map. So it's not just, you know, INnoVation taking damage. The thing is, INnoVation is dealing worker damage. He's not killing a base. Q not only has kept his third base alive, he's also building a 4th out in location. So INnoVation's trying to survive here, but not looking good for the moment. SCV is still dropping down, so a bunch of damage being done. Supply depot is going to drop as well, so that's going to fall. Again, tanks. Well, just a bio army here in general. Send up over on this side. $15 workers killed off, by the way, so a lot of damage being done by those Banshees. I mean, it's nice. If INnoVation had done that while defending, it would have been great, but obviously, again, the third base was exposed, and the third base is broken down, and now it's just a position you don't really recover from. As simply as that. And as you can be seeing the Hellbat, so the Marauders, the Marines, the tanks, all of this pulling back up the center. The Banshees from INnoVation coming along too. 1-1 mech weapons, and plating coming in also. Setting up towards that, as we do see again the Vikings and the Banshees. They're going to move out over to the right-hand side. Again, the Marine and tank army coming up towards the top. We're going to be seeing the rest of this army from Cure. Just going to reinforce, and again, obviously, mining off for 4 bases against, well, 2. Now, INnoVation getting a third base back up. Getting this off to the side. See, Helene picked off here right away. Rest of this army from Pure down the left as well, and looking to try and come in from a couple different sides, trying to collapse on INnoVation perhaps in the next couple of moments. And he's going to come in from the left, from the right, and you know, you never really want to stim into a mech army that's already sieged up, but the reality is in this scenario, the full-on flank does well enough to justify you clearing out all of these siege tanks. It's still not great for Q, actually. I mean, he cleans out all the tanks, which is then going to be difficult to come back from, but INnoVation's Banshee's actually making short work of the remaining units of Q. Is INnoVation going to go counter-attack? I mean, he's not going to win the game off of it, but like, he's done a lot of damage here, and yeah, I mean, he actually kind of survives. That was not a good fight for Q at all. Well, yeah, you never want to stim into a pre-sieged mech army, and even if you've got the full-on flank, apparently you don't either. I was wondering, but I was kind of like, nah, Q knows what he's doing. It's fine. Nope, it's not. No, it's not at all. As you see the bio here able to pick off. Let's see, we also do see a few Vikings from Inno pressing forward. 2-2 upgrades coming in on either side. Couple more Marines stemming forwards. Vikings down the bottom. Well, these Vikings firing away. Medevac already taking some damage here initially. 2-2 upgrades coming in from Kua on the engineering bays, and just going to be seeing this Viking Banshee tank army just setting up. Kua coming down the right and looking to try and press forwards here. A few Marines stimming through, and already an SCV being picked off. Bit more bio to the right, picking off a Hellion as well, and 2-2 upgrades from Kua about to finish. Again, I mean, at this point, you can still just win this from holding INnoVation down at 3 bases, right? And it's going to be a while before INnoVation gets to base number 4, but that does just give him a, you know, a little while to rebuild some of the tank count that he lost here. Bio back up the left, a little bit of bio from Kua on the right side as well. Ship weapon upgrade from Kua starting up in the back of the main base, and just going to be seeing these couple medevacs loading up some of these Hellbats, bring them to the third. More of this army from Kua continuing to set up. I mean, again, he's all over the map. He's just making sure Inno's not getting back in this game. 5th base on the right side also. You'll see these Banshees coming through, trying to get the Marauder. Doesn't quite get there in the end. The Bioforce is going to knock down these Roxy on the side. So able to pick that off. Again, Medevac's loading up here and going to go boosting forwards also. It's pushing forwards with these. Fire loads back, and here again on the right-hand side, trying to press forwards. Trying to get a little bit of something done. Comes in, 4th base, attempt from INnoVation denied again. Like I said, if you can keep INnoVation off 4 bases, you're in a fine position, right? Because eventually you are mining just off of more bases than him, even if you're trading a bit worse. There's a few workers with this. I mean, attack on the 3rd doesn't do a lot. The Banshee's defending. But yeah, killing off the 4th base again. It basically forces INnoVation to all in with this army. So this army has to go across the map and try and fight it. Try and fight this on its own. And this is it. Like, there's no reinforcements, no follow-up. This is basically just it for INnoVation. So let's see what's gonna happen. Q's just gonna start taking this fight. Tanks get sieged. Q backs away. Q's back with some more Marauders on this left-hand side. So INnoVation losing SCVs here as well. INnoVation with the army supply lead. If he can get across the map, maybe, just maybe, he can do something. But I mean, Q is gonna have reinforcement money. He's already building up a Viking force. You see INnoVation loading up the Hellbats, and again, maybe it is just time to go. I don't think you can wait around much longer. Like, the longer you wait in this game, the more Q's advantage comes through. It's going to be seeing the tanks setting up. Unsieging, re-sieging. You see the army coming in. Just gonna see the tanks sieging again, pushing the bio back a little bit. It's gonna continue pushing up. I mean, again, at some point, what Q is trying to do He's getting the Viking count up so he can then get the Liberators out to hold off the tank force. And he's very close to doing it, right? First Liberator's coming in. He definitely has the Viking count already. So to take this fight. His Vikings are healthier as well. INnoVation drops the Hellbats back down over here. And these Vikings are going to get cleaned out. And INnoVation might pick off this base. Akira knows INnoVation is so all in that it doesn't really matter. And INnoVation going to be continue to press forwards here. But again, as the Liberators come out, there is nothing to shoot these Liberators down from INnoVation. So he's, Kira's just going to be able to siege up and pick off whatever he wants. Losing his last couple of air units here. Again, for the moment, it's like it's looking okay, but as soon as libs pop, INnoVation can't do anything else. And you basically are forced to try and push forwards more quickly into a fight. And that's not really ideal. You already see the siege tank starting to go down a bit here. He's going to stim and just fight the Hellbats a little bit. The Vikings land to help against the tank count. That's going to do great as well. And that will work as a cleanup. Kira takes down INnoVation's army. And while INnoVation took down a couple of bases on the big old counterattack all in, at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough, and it looks like Kira will take game number 1. GG from INnoVation to indeed come. And he looked really, had a couple of moments where he's able to turn games around. Eternal Empire, nice large map for our second map, as we have in the top right, the Red Terran. It is Kira. Obviously, we saw this map as well last time, and it was, again, one of these maps which is very good for Mech, because you can take bases and you can defend them. INnoVation might look to play Mech again here. His real issue in that last game was that he went very far behind very early in the game. The Hellion drop, he did no counter damage. So he was down like 14 workers early. So it was not so much Kira's... it was not so much, the Mech play that put INnoVation behind. It was Kira's damage early in the game that put Inno behind. So that, then the Mech didn't really work. So... considering he played the Mech against Dream, I'm imagining we see some more Mech here from INnoVation again. So, let's see. See what happens. Second refinery comes up. We do have our SCV of Kira heading down to the bottom left-hand side. Off on a bit of a scout. SCV on its way down the bottom left. Gonna see this SCV from INnoVation coming up the top right. This time again, Kira going to be the faster expanding player. Exactly what he did in the first game, and we'll see if this time INnoVation can maybe do a little bit more about that. Losing his first Reaper in the last game was obviously not great either. SCV continuing all the way back down the bottom left then, as this time INnoVation doesn't bring an SCV or keep an SCV here to try and help his Reaper fight. He shows up, he's going to drop a grenade. He knows the Reaper of his opponent's here and he's just out of there. So keeping his Reaper alive. He just go into Reaper 2 and a Hellion, and it looks like he'll keep building Reaper Hellion, so he will really go for some pressure early on. As the reactor comes out from Kira, he pretty much has to swap over to the factory there, so give the reactor to the factory, give a couple of Hellions very quickly. That obviously helps out quite a lot. It's going to be seeing the Reapers fighting against each other. Grenade still dropping down. Reaper 4, Reaper here in the center. Yeah, if the reacted Hellions, there's not really much to be done here for INnoVation. SCV pulls into the back of the natural. INnoVation's got to be careful about it being overcommitting. He gets some information, he backs away, and it's a very safe little bit of info he picks up. And then, once these extra units come out, that really is the moment you just want to be backing away. You don't want to be fighting 2 Hellions that have just finished building. One Reaper doesn't really offset that difference, so yeah, coming back home, bottom left-hand side. I'm just going to be seeing the CC from INnoVation finishing shortly as well. Obviously a bit later on the Mule, a little bit later on SCV production, giving Kira a slight lead, as we will see the cloak starting from Kira in the main base. So Kira going to go Cloak Banshees this time. Nice way to change up from a Hellion drop in the first game to now Cloak Banshees here in game number 2. It's a good little combination. It's a good way to kind of, again, switch it up, keep INnoVation kind of guessing, but also keep INnoVation on the defensive, right? Because it definitely gives you the kind of power to make the games work a little bit. As we get this rolling SCVs coming through. We've seen the Cyclone back up to the high ground. Banshee popping out, going to be coming to the front. Scanning over on the main base here. Raven coming through. Going to see Macfield dropping down from Cura as well. I see Macfield from INnoVation also. So Macfield versus Macfield. Intrigued to see if Cura just straight up plays Mech on this map and just says, well, the best way to play, to beat Mech if INnoVation's playing Mech is to do Mech myself, right? I mean, it's a very realistic possibility. It really is how some players approach the game. I guess, is probably not too afraid to play some Mech here overall, as we've got Hyperflight rotors coming in on the upper right side of the map. So yeah, Q's actually the one who's really embracing the Mech play from the start, that Hyperflight playing exactly how INnoVation played in the last game. But it's INnoVation who's already dropping down extra factories. He's just skipping the Hyperflight rotors. He's actually going into a Liberator early. Trying to use this to deal some damage. He's got a couple of Ravens up, so that's something which Cure will not go into. So definitely a couple of differences here early on. The Raven and the Cyclone set up together. It's going to be joining Raven. A couple of Cyclones setting up together on this bottom right side of the base. Reaper goes down right away, so that'll get picked off as well. Just going to be seen again. Macfield Accelerator coming through. The couple of armories coming up. Still just watching this Hyperflight come into play now. As we have got the Hellion Cyclone out up on the top. A few Banshees on the bottom right-hand side as well, just kind of hanging out here and trying to see what they can get up to. A couple of armories still coming in from Cure. With the Infernal Pre-Igniter, Hyperflight rotors, all of this building. It's going to be seeing a few of these units out in front of the third base. Very, very passive TvT. These guys are really not rushing into this from either side. It's going to be seeing the few arm units coming across here now. Liberator actually sieges up and gets a few kills. I mean, you just got to get a Cyclone over here to deal with this, right? I mean, no Cyclone here yet, so there's pretty good damage from INnoVation, doing a pretty decent job. I was going to see Hellion Cyclone moving up this round. Remember, he's actually got the Ravens here as well, so he can Matrix if he needs to. He actually just outnumbers this anyways. He's going to drop an Order Turret to kill a couple chasing units. Hey, if he actually just straight up, he's just going to go for the third base. He's going to kill the third base. Q just loses the Cyclone fight, and it costs him an entire third CC. 15 workers going down as well. That Liberator ended up doing a lot. And she's across the map. Kind of damage time here from Cure. He needs to do a lot after losing the command center to get back in this. And right now, Banshees, well, so there's a scan to kind of force the Banshees away. Second scan gets one of the 4 Banshees so far. This was nice from INnoVation. Just straight up pushes in, wins the fight, able to get on top of the base. I like the Order Turrets as well, just to stop and deter the SCVs from coming back in and trying to repair, or other units to come in and try and get the lock-ons onto INnoVation Cyclones. These Banshees really are kind of abusing the mobility at the moment, as we're going to be seeing them back over this way with the detection here. These Vikings are going to end up getting kills. And that is going to be the rest of these Banshees going down. They'll go for a couple extra SCVs. INnoVation loses 14 workers. It's the base difference that makes the most, has the most effect here overall, but yeah, INnoVation, I mean, 14 workers lost. It's now evened out in that count, at the very least. Just going to be seeing the rest of the army continue to come up. INnoVation obviously does take a little bit of a lead here and there at points, but he's also the player who's gone into 2-2 already, and that's something Cure may not be able to afford after losing that third base, so there's definitely going to be advantages somewhere along the way. As hey, this time I tell you what I like is the Hellion count in the front is really doing a lot. A few Matrixes though from INnoVation. I kind of felt like this was what we were going to see initially last time. Some Matrixes to kind of help the fight. He didn't need them then. He uses them now. These spike ones are just derping forwards. INnoVation is going to do more than enough here. He has the Cyclone count left over. He's got a Viking mixed in just to help out a little bit further. He's going to get a lot of kills here. 14 SCVs of Cure going down, and obviously there's no counter-attack potential now from Cure because he's lost his Banshees. So INnoVation reinforcement with a couple extra units and looking as though he's realistically got this on lockdown. Quite literally on lockdown with the Cyclones locking onto the third base. That's going to start taking damage again. Maybe these Hellions want to go and target down these Hellions, or SCVs rather. The lock onto the CC is being out repaired at the moment. He's actually still locked on though, and he does get the kill in the end. So the third base goes down for a second time, and INnoVation looks like he will take game 2 of this best of 5 final. A little bit of Cyclone versus Cyclone play. As going to be seen, I mean, again, just reinforcing units, keep on getting those lock-ons. Peter types out GG, and that's how this game ends. INnoVation taking game 2. It's a nice one to win. Take a little bit of pressure off, give yourself some breathing room in the series. As on the bottom right-hand side, the blue Terran player trying to play INnoVation at his own game, but it didn't really work out, did it? This is Cure. Against, in the top left-hand side, the red Terran player, Kaisi Gaming's INnoVation. And hey, what's up? Thank you so much, Vionex, for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much indeed. Backley69, Wardy, where are those posters from? They're from BlizzCons in years gone by. So you usually buy them at BlizzCon and stuff like that. So yeah, they're pretty tough to come by. It's actually pretty expensive to find them in good condition nowadays if you're on the Blizzard collection groups on Facebook and stuff. If you have like one of these posters in like really good condition, you can sell it for like a good like 2, 3, 4 times the price you bought it for, so it's pretty sick. Wardy, do you ever sleep? There's even an exclamation mark sleep command. Just so you know. Exactly, that I sleep. Amazing. Alright, guys. Going into this game number 3, of course, and looking to see what INnoVation or Cure will get up to. See if any of them are going to do anything in particular. Cure this time doesn't go one gas opener. Maybe just wants to make sure he's not getting too greedy here. Doesn't want to get punished by like a Proxy Rax Reaper play. SCV popping up in towards the main. The factory coming in on either side again, just sitting back and kind of waiting to see where this is going to go. Keep coming up from both. I'm just going to be seeing the SCV building up here from Cure as well. So getting that up and running. Again, Reaper and Hellion production from Cure as well. Going to be continuing to rally out. Let's continue to get those numbers up. Reaper coming in towards the front. A little bit of Reaper on Reaper aggression. Nice grenade from Cure. Perfectly placed to bop INnoVation's Reaper forwards, and he gets the kill. And INnoVation's not having a good time with the Reapers in the early stages of these games, is he? Like, he really is not. They are just not going his way at all. He just keeps losing them early on. He needs to be a little bit more careful about that, maybe, because, again, you don't want to really keep losing this. It's not a good look for you, I can tell you that much. Hellion and the Reaper from Cure pressing forwards again. Good little grenade, popping the Reaper back once more. You're going to see a Reaper going down. The Hellion gets picked off, and just going to see the other Reaper coming through. INnoVation's going to end up winning this out, and with the chase of the Hellion, he should get this Reaper. There's no ledge here on Simulacrum for the Reaper to jump down, so it won't be able to create any distance between itself and the Hellion. It's going to be seeing the Cyclone starting up on either side then, so getting that up, getting that ready to roll. And Command Center on the natural expansion on both players. Is it the score next to the logos on the bottom left? 1-1. Yep, scores down here with the best of 5 tells you what the length of the series is as well. So the score will always be down there unless... Literally the first time ever we didn't know the score of the series today. And we didn't actually have a score up. But yeah, usually the score's down there and tells you what the series is. Cyclone locks on, and that's INnoVation able to get a kill. That's bigger than obviously the earlier units as well, because Cyclones, especially if you're going to play Mech Field Accelerator, really do become pretty important units. What's so interesting, again, INnoVation just goes into this Liberator early. This time Q is going to go the Ravens. Looks like INnoVation will go Ravens as well now, just a little bit later on. Well, he started up another Cyclone, so he decides not to go for that. And he actually backs away with the starport, so he will not go Ravens this time. So INnoVation changing this up just slightly, as we do see. The Liberator thinking about sieging up into the main base. So Liberator coming across, as we do see the Hellion and Cyclones coming across. Just going to see a few too many Marines here for INnoVation to really fight properly against. We'll get a couple lock-ons and start chipping away at that number. As the Liber in the main, it's the attack at the front that then distracts everything else to kind of stop them coming to deal with this Liberator, right? So it takes a little while for the Cyclone to get here. By the time the Cyclone's here, the Liberator's already moving, although it's going down towards the natural. Ravens are there. They can auto turret the Liberator if it wants to try and siege up at all. Liberator might just try and get back home and repair up and then come across again. INnoVation, some real bravery building a third CC in location against Cure, who's not building a third CC right now, which is very interesting. So maybe Q are going to be the one to try and get aggressive in all of this. INnoVation trying to play that Cyclone style. It'll be very important for him to stay on the map then, because if Q gets aggressive, you're going to want to try and pick up some kills with the Cyclone lock-ons as Q starts to push across the map. So you're going to have to try and, aim a little bit towards that here. You have to be a little bit careful in that regard. The Cyclone comes in, picks off a Marine. Again, a couple tanks pressing through. As you see the siege tank shot hitting a Cyclone quite hard. Again, a couple extra Vikings on the way out. Some SCV production continuing. Cyclones here hanging out the right side. Cyclone able to pick off a Marine. And just the third CT from Cure is so late here. That's kind of the crazy part, right? He's just so much later on the third. I'm not sure why exactly he's so much later on the third, because he was just on a 1-1-1 setup. Usually there's this sort of scenario where you kind of... With the 1-1-1, you typically just go third CC because you can protect it without really deviating from your build. Now we see the extra engineering base from Cure ready for those upgrades across the map. Liberator from Cure shows up, and that's something INnoVation has to go deal with. A couple of Vikings on the way over. Good scout from Cure as well. Confirms it is going to be Mech, just in case he wasn't sure. And there's the push coming across the map. Cure still has a little bit of army supply lead. Issue is, at this point, I think INnoVation is okay, because he's got the siege tank count to realistically hold this off, and he knows it's coming, so he shouldn't be caught with his, siege tanks out of position at all. He should be pre-siege, he should be very ready. The only question is, which direction does this attack definitely come from? And maybe if it comes from the top, it can be a little bit of something else coming through. Extra couple of Vikings getting some shots on the Raven. Try and force some of the Raven energy to be used already. Take Ravens down. Obviously, interference matrices could be a big part of Q breaking through this, or even the auto turret bust as well. So trying to force out some energy already just means less for Q to work with as he tries to wiggle his way up towards that third base location, as the Cyclone's getting a lock on and will kill a siege tank. It's a really nice catch. Whatever it is today, INnoVation's just decided it's Mech Day in TvT. INnoVation really does this, finds a build, latches onto it, keeps doing it. Honestly, I feel like it's what he just likes to do, and then I am kind of Vince. He's going to be like, okay, you saw me play Mech for like 8 games in a row, now I'm going to do a combination of Mech first game, and then I'm just going to switch it to Bio and stuff like that. It is interesting to see the Vikings finding the Ravens moving across. The rest of them weren't there right away. If they were, that might have been a kill. Oh, Matrix is dropping down. We're going to see, here we go, the attempted to burst. The Ravens obviously using up pretty much all their energy here. INnoVation falls very far back. Honestly, I think he's okay because he got his tank siege up pretty quickly, and he is going to get the shots he needs. The Ravens all go down. There's only one tank left over here, and realistically, that's not going to do a lot. The scanner's there. The Vikings will land to kill it. And now these few Marines making their way down the bottom, but they're also stimulus Marines. So they're not super scary, although SCVs probably should pull away a little bit, right? I mean, no reason to keep them here. It was a bit messy then from INnoVation in the end. 8 workers lost, but he cleans up a lot. He loses a lot too, in fairness, right? He lost a lot of his own siege tanks. And again, that's why he's been trying to pick away those Ravens, because they have so much of that busting potential. We saw here a combination of Matrix and Auto Turrets. So that combination works very nicely. Vikings moving back up to the top side. Going to be seeing a supply depot here from INnoVation setting up at the front. The Marines around the bottom. The Vikings still hanging around the top. 1-1 vehicle weapons and plane coming through. And the 1-1 upgrades on the engineering bay is coming in as well. Rest of this army here from Kura up through the center of the map as well. Trying to push across, trying to get into the upper side. And those couple extra factories coming in from INnoVation, so gonna be finishing up real soon as we see Kura making its way up to the top of the map. Since Star gets picked off, tanks will siege. You see the bio army of Kura here lifting up those couple of medevacs and coming around the top side. Trying to see where they can get to. Again, the few Marines coming over. Vikings taking some damage. 2-2 upgrades dropping down from Kura as well. So, and that's set up as these Hellions try to run on by. Not really achieving much at all as they go in towards this base. Kura's up in supplies, but he is playing bio versus mech, which means that that fact is not really too surprising. Obviously, your units are cheaper. They come out more quickly. Lots of reasons for Kura to be ahead on supply, but the armies are overall the same. Kura's actually just mining more, which is obviously also quite typical of playing bio because you expand a bit faster as bio against the mech player. And you kind of need to. Bio back up the top. Hellions will go diving by the right side. An SCV here. Going to take some damage. Going to go down. Bio units coming in. Just going to go after the Hellions. Best few Hellions going to drop, and they all get picked off in the end. A bunch of Hellions dropping down there. Here comes Kura out onto the map, pushing into the upper left-hand side. Tanks firing. A pretty decent amount of damage here so far. Vikings very narrowly catching a medevac. Again, 2-2 upgrades still coming in for Kura, so setting those up on the engineering base. Fusion core starting from Kura in the main base as well. So again, that fusion core up and rolling. Really spreading this out a little bit at the moment. You're still just maxed out and trying to control the map a little bit. Trying to move around, trying to find an opening for the moment. Trying to figure out what exactly you can do against this INnoVation army. I love the fusion core because, again, moving towards that ranged liberator style. Absolutely a way to start picking away at this mech player's army. INnoVation is just sitting back. Another good map to just sit back with mech, right? I mean, all these maps so far have been pretty good for that, as you see. I'm moving around. Kura up on the top. I'm trying to see what else is going on as well. Just trying to think about pushing in towards this planetary fortress, the Hellions. Back over the right, gonna see a planetary fortress. A couple of siege tanks dealing some damage. There's the bio down the bottom. And get the medevac upgrade. Really? You build a fusion core for the medevac upgrade? Are you kidding me? He just got me like, oh yeah, he's gonna go range liberators, he's gonna start building up Vikings, then libs. And he builds the medevac upgrade. Like, hello? Why was Kura up 30 supply? Because, like I said, Bio, I literally just explained this. Bio is better than, Bio builds faster than mech. And, I mean, you can look at the game. Kura's been mining more as well. I don't necessarily think that fight for Kura was great early, but again, he's just been typically mining more because he built more SCVs because he could expand faster because he's on the map. And then the bio then builds faster too, so it's just that kind of combination of things. It's nothing crazy. As you see the bio army up on the top. Again, a couple of CCs from INnoVation building as well. Look at Cure though. Bottom left, top right corners, taking both of these. Cure's making his way up into the space over here. He's going to stim in for these tanks. Halbat's on the way over to drop into this and try to clean up some of these Marines. They do pretty well. Halbat drop's actually pretty deadly on top of the bio. You've got to be very careful about it as the bio player in these fights. Bio from Cure, still up the top. A little bit of bio here out through the bottom. CC from INnoVation relocating up to the top side. Another command center on the way too. Bit of a weird fight for Cure to take. I don't think there's really much to gain. He's not killing very much as he tries to fight it in INnoVation. Just going to keep creeping his tanks forwards here. Halbat's going to get another shot or two off. Marines and Marauders taking more damage. The siege tank going to get picked off as well. These Vikings getting rid of all the medevacs. I mean, it's a good fight for INnoVation. By the way, is there any part of this map that isn't covered by sensor tower? Like this base down here and this one just up here, more or less? Does anyone know about that base? He has no idea that Cure is mine in the bottom left corner. This is a base he should deny so easily because he can bring units that defend this base down. And it's a real shame that he doesn't know about that. His sensor tower is obviously just missing it completely. Well, bio unit's going to start to unload, and Vikings will obviously try and fight this. If the Hellbat's trying to be the tanking force, the Vikings will get rid of the medevacs then, and siege tanks coming through. I mean, this is the kind of play that Q is going to use to try and pull INnoVation apart here. And it was starting to work. I mean, again, you do some good damage in this. You've got the bio to rebuild. Now INnoVation knows. Scouting command center finds out there's a base down here. And INnoVation's going to be like, oh, interesting. You know, you're not meant to have that one, buddy. That one's meant to be mine. So I'm pretty sure he'll come and do something about this. And the sensor towers are just crazy. I wish there was like a turn sensor tower map button, turn sensor tower mini map button off, because we'd be able to just get rid of it. Because right now everyone sees everything basically. I mean, Cure sees a lot of the map, INnoVation sees a lot of the map. Cure just comes up and kills INnoVation here. Apparently, just stims on up this ramp and just says, "Cool, let's go." Fighting on through. Vikings going down. The tanks surviving as a few more tank shots go down. And we've seen another base here from Cure setting up in the top side. Bio army continuing to set up together as well. Corvid reactor on the way on the starports, trying to get some more Raven energy up. So INnoVation may want to try and get some anti-armor missiles off on this army. That's not a bad idea, right? Anti-armor missile in the bio definitely helps to take it down that little bit faster. Cure is still just headbutting with bio though, and he's actually spent a lot of his mineral bank. He's not doing what you would usually expect a Terran to do in this scenario, which is you've got a lot of bases, you've got a lot of income, build up into a better, stronger army than what than just bio. Take that advantage and run with it. Outbuild INnoVation with a stronger army. But no, he's actually just going to try and keep playing bio, which is dangerous. A few too many bad fights, and this can absolutely fall apart for Cure very quickly. Alien's coming up to protect the planetary fortress here as well. INnoVation holds on once more. You can see resources lost from the moment is actually Cure favored. If it stays like that, then that's obviously brilliant, but obviously the question is, does it stay like that? As you do see the Bioforce also gathering up down the bottom. Cure actually just has every base apart from INnoVation's 5. So 2 of these bases are usually meant to be INnoVation's. No, they're Cure's. And INnoVation's not doing anything about it as Cure just streams in here again, drops a little bit to split up the splash damage from the tanks. And this time doesn't go as well for him. But still trading evenly, which again, if you're mining off of so many bases, is completely fine. Eventually here, INnoVation's going to be forced into one big all-in attack because he's going to be mining out of 5 bases. Okay, he's actually going to start making a bit of a play down to the bottom left. He has to make a play somewhere. He can't just sit back forever. Thing is, Cure sees this coming from a mile away because of the sensor towers, although I guess not soon enough to actually protect the bottom left. There's a bit of a better fight from INnoVation. Should be dropping an anti-armor missile. Drops some auto turrets instead, but very late. Loses 2 Ravens already, which is a real shame. Top side, this bio ends up pulling away. A few SCVs going down. Bottom left base finally denied by INnoVation. He's getting a chance to build up a bit of a bank of his own here finally. I imagine he'll want to take a base down that bottom left as well. Scanning around is going to be seeing a sensor tower being picked off as well. The rest of this Bioforce down the bottom, going to stim few of those units and jump them up into medevacs already. Tanks are going to siege, and again, the Bioforce can get blown up pretty quickly. More command centers on the way out. CV picked off, a couple medevacs going down. Here on the top side as well. I mean, this leaves a little run bys. I mean, this isn't a big portion of the army either, so this doesn't really need to do too much, but it is chipping away that innovation economy, trying to stop him from building up a bank and rebuilding. Q is already rebuilding the base in the bottom left as innovation comes to try and expand here again. For the second time, innovation is not going to be able to build his base here. He's actually starting to lose the CC. Hi, innovation. I'll just land the CC here and build a planetary fortress. Screw this. You know, it's ridiculous. He's bringing his army down here anyways. He's actually going to start getting a push on this base as well. But it's already the minerals that Q has been able to mine from this that's very impactful, because any mineral mine you take from these bases are minerals that now innovation never gets access to in this game. And that means if you're trading a little bit worse, overall it can still work out for you, because innovation doesn't have access to as many resources as you have had, which means overall you can play a little bit less efficiently and it can still work out. Just going to see the Bioforce from Cure back around into the center again, coming down the bottom side. This command center is taking a lot of damage. Cure has been losing a lot of SCVs actually in this space, hasn't really been replacing those. He's quite happy with his bank already. Does mean innovation has more workers. He could really do with a base to actually utilize that though. He's building even more command centers here, by the way. As you see, the Vikings, they're consistently finding so much damage here. I'd love to see an anti-armor missile right now on the bio. Really help out these few Hellbats and tanks down over here. A little bit late for it now, unfortunately. It really would have done a lot, I think, as once again, Q is trying to stab into the center of the map. But innovation has an army here, and Q's supply dropped down to 140 there. Hey, there's going to be a lot of reinforcements Q has to build. Vikings coming over this CC, trying to survive. Tanks coming over to help with this also. It's been a real effort for innovation to take this base back. Q has kept his attention very heavily with it, as we do see the bio here is able to get some SCVs. So now innovation's worker count dropping down to 69. Nice. As we do see the rest of this army pulling away. Q is able to keep this alive. Rest of the bio coming out into the center. Couple of bases in the upper right as well. Still those mining, right? Those aren't the ones innovation wants to contest. He wants to take these bases here. Actually, he's going to deny this base here as well as he pushes through, and that's a lot of the gas, 1,000 gas, and yeah, you know, about 2,000 minerals or so that Q now doesn't have access to until he retakes that base. Should not push up this ramp though. There's going to be seeing our Vikings continue to pick away the medevacs. How many medevacs have died this game? What's died in overall this game? 18 Vikings for NO, 25 medevacs for Q, 300 bio units. The thing you should look at as well is, again, resources lost, 38,800 to 31k. It's finally been an innovation kind of advantage in resources lost, which is what I've been suggesting will happen eventually for a long time. Just taking a lot of good fights, and this is one of them. Pulls that resources lost favor back into his favor. Innovation uses up a lot of his currently existing bank to do this, and he actually really starts to need gas and mining elsewhere because he needs to rebuild a bank now. So he actually really needs to keep this bottom left-hand base alive. Scans down here, watches Cure trying to hit it. Going back around up to the top. So command center going to be trying to be... I don't even know who's trying to take this base right now. Is it innovation? Is it Q? Like, I don't know. Another attack through the center. Q just keeps sending units up here, and they are finally breaking through. There's no defenses there anymore, so it's finally working out. Pure's just been pumping units. We've not looked at Pure's base at all, but he is just pumping units, guys. He has a lot of racks. Looking very good. He's just going to be seeing the medevacs loading up a little bit. Again, out in the center. Q going to be pulling away again. Innovation moving forward with a few units into the middle of the map, but this is maybe a bit too far. A lot of Q's army over here. As innovation will siege those tanks, and as those tanks go down, that's a couple shots on the tail end, but not enough. I'm so interested. I mean, Q is now going into vehicle plate, and I wonder if eventually there's a switch for him coming up, because again, he's been playing this entire game with a, you know, bio army when he could have had he's had the economy to build a better army comp. He was trying to fight it up on this top side as well, and he'll clean out this base, the refineries that were still mining gas, but he's running into more and more tanks. Down to 136 supply once more. The thing is, he has the bank to rebuild that supply. INnoVation's bank is absolutely drained at the moment as this base over here gets denied. Some of the SCVs picked up very quickly. Secure also losing some income, but it kind of comes down to Secure's actually just spent a lot of money. He's still down on supply. He actually needs to be careful right now because if he doesn't have a rebuild, INnoVation can win this game with this mech army. Tanks on the high ground sieging. Look how much it costs you just to be in range of those tanks when they get sieged. Sits around for a second volley, and that's a mistake as Hellbat in the bottom gets cleaned out. SCVs will be left a long distance mine. QS still hasn't taken the gases on these upper right bases. Hasn't needed it when he's playing bio. Those minerals have been absolutely essential, and eventually INnoVation might actually want to try and find gas somewhere like that. The thing is, INnoVation now takes this bottom left base for himself, so he gets that base up and running. And that's really big for him because, again, he's really been strangled on 5 bases a long time. Now he's getting to base 6 and 7. He's going to be the one that really has the bank to keep on rebuilding and rebuilding if these fights stay the same. Bio unloading. Medivacs will load up. Once again, I mean, just trying to figure out which way you want to go with this as Cure. INnoVation scans, sees what's there. On the bottom side, a massive missile turret to protect this forward base. Cure is back up in money. I'm not sure if he's just been, probably just dropped a ton of mules down over here. Look at that income. It has finally gone back into INnoVation's favor, though. So finally getting back into Inno's favor. But maybe not for long, because this is the base that's given INnoVation that advantage, and it is going down. Supplanetary Fortress falls. Cure makes the break, and now Cure intercepts the moving siege tank, so he's going to kill the tanks as INnoVation tries to reposition to fight this here, and suddenly INnoVation's army is dropping much more one-sidedly than it ever has in this game before now, and INnoVation drops to 130 supply. We've not seen that yet, and that might be the difference. That might be the deal breaker, because now INnoVation loses the bottom left. If he loses the bottom left, he doesn't have any income left in this game. The top side of the map is mining out. Some auto turrets trying to come down here. He's not just losing bases, he's losing the SCVs, and that becomes so difficult to replace as we do see Cure just want to run into those couple of tanks. Man, Cure is really running out of time to do something here in the latter stages, but that move was brilliant. He knew INnoVation would be relocating down to save this base, and as soon as he knew that, got the Marines and Marauders stabbing in. Boom. Tanks unable to get in position, unable to reinforce. They get picked off, and Cure is now maxed out against a 130 supply INnoVation. Now, Cure is going to run away with this game a little bit because stuff like this is unstoppable. You know, now there's not the units out to properly protect these run-bys and to kind of get the cleanup after you've taken some damage as Inno. And that's the difference. That's the deal breaker. These refineries denied. Cure trying to take this base, race to the command center. INnoVation will get it back. There's a base over here that's still just normal command. Cure drops in on the siege tanks. They go down. This base goes down. I mean, all of these mules are going to drop. And again, Cure's getting that income advantage back. He's going to back away from this fight. No point committing to it. His medevac's out of energy. Medevac aren't low anyways, and he's actually just very low HP on all of these units, which he's trying to fight with. He's actually bringing this in again, coming in from the top side. Cure looking to clean out INnoVation in this game after 27 minutes. Tanks continue to drop. The Vikings will land. INnoVation will not have the numbers to keep pushing this back. He will maybe this time. Eventually, reinforcements coming through, but after this attempt, does he have the numbers to fight again? Maybe not. I mean, the supplies are getting close. 60 to 110. 50 supply advantage for Cure. But honestly, in smaller, scrappier scenarios, Mech does pretty well also if you're pre-siege and able to protect a position. Depends how much Cure can build back up off of this. Resources lost is coming up to even, right? And Cure has mined more this game, and that will be INnoVation's problem at the end, as we do see him coming in, picking off some more of these SCVs. These bases up here finally starting to get mined out. He's been Mueller nose for an eternity also. Fire still simmering in. Siege tank taking a lot of damage. Will fall. A couple of Hellbats here also picked off. Orbital command on the bottom side. QSCing that INnoVation's mining. That's going to be his next target then as he comes in, starting to break the production down. Starting to break through. INnoVation's setup is no longer like a wall of red on the left side of the map. It is just dots of red scattered around. CQ is going to make the play. He's dropped on top of these siege tanks. There's nothing to protect them. These SCVs are chased away. This orbital's going down in INnoVation types. Q had some units from the top side as well, intercepting the reinforcements. Q takes game 3 of Okay. Bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player. This is Cure. He leads this series 2-1. Match point, tournament point. $200 for first place today in the Kung Fu Cup. On the top left-hand side, our blue Terran player is INnoVation. Well, you reset into an early game after playing that. I'm always impressed when these guys come out of a game like that. It's long, it's enduring, you know, it's tough to fight. How do you reset into just early game build orders? Just like, you know, don't even ask for a minute's break or anything. Just boom, straight back into early game build orders. Figuring stuff out, trying to, you know, find an advantage in the early stage. It's crazy to me. It really is quite crazy to me. As we get this underway. Gonna see the SCV making its way out to the upper left-hand side of the map here. It's just going to be having the SCV of INnoVation making its way down the bottom right factory, setting up from Cura as well. Yeah, guys, Cura did not just blindly stim in again and again. It takes a... He obviously, yes, it was a lot of stimming and trading. If he just blindly stims in again and again, he loses this game. But because he made very smart decisions on when to stim in, looking a bit haphazardly, and he was able to make decent enough fights every time, eventually he was able to use those constant attacks to force a relocation around the bottom side. And when he forced the relocation around the bottom side, he then interjected his army in between the reinforcements he knew would be coming down because he's attacked the top so much. It's almost like he set up that moment for the entire game because he knew INnoVation had to defend the top. And he knew the tanks would be there, so if he started to attack mostly on the bottom, those tanks would relocate, and then, boom, he catches those, and that's what turned the game around. It took a lot of... It's very... you might want to call it, like, throwing away armies, but it's very thoughtful throwing away of armies. You know, you really know... You really do pay a lot of attention to how to do it. You really know what you're doing. You set this up. Couple Reapers, Hellion in the bottom right-hand side. We do see the Cyclone here from Cure setting up as well. Getting that ready to roll. I'm just going to be seeing Cure. And getting a couple of Reapers and a Hellion. Coming back around up the top. Starport coming in on either side. Refinery setting up from Cure as well here. CC on the natural. And again, just a few Reapers, a couple of Hellions out on the high ground of this ramp. Probably expecting INnoVation to play Mech again. I mean, would you be surprised? He's going to go into the Raven opening from the start this time, so no early Liberator or anything along those lines. So we've seen the Raven coming out then in the next few moments. Liberator coming through from Cure, a couple of Marines, Cyclone. All of this popping off. It's actually pretty similar. The Liberator, I guess, is a bit of a difference, and Cure going to go into a Siege Tank pretty early on. Getting that Siege Tank up early and see what he can do with that. Nightshade our map. I mean, Nightshade's already a bit of a different map to Simulacrum. Much more difficult to hold 4 bases with, as you know, with kind of how INnoVation was doing it. So more opportunities for Q to attack. So the game is less likely to get to that kind of stage early on anyways. Did you see the Raven coming in from INnoVation? And like mentioned, just Raven number 2. Already a push from Cure, though. Really looking to try and get something done. So Cure coming out across this map. Pushing in. A couple of Reaper grenades dropping down. Reapers pop backwards. His Liberator stops a bit short of the mark. He's going to set sieged up now. Will not get a shot or anything. His Marines coming in too. His Cyclones took a lot of damage. I don't think Cure can keep fighting. Cyclone's hurt. Oh, he's left the Liberator out in the center. Mistake from Cure. As INnoVation continues through. Ooh, tank in the center, though. That turns it around, doesn't it? Really quickly. And more Cyclones now from Kira as well. Maybe he wants to keep going for this. Bring the Cyclones back, repair up, and still try and push aggressively. No third CC, so he's definitely a bit more aggressive than what INnoVation is doing. Let's see if he can take advantage of that. As this army sets up. Army coming up the top. Liberator from Kira out the left-hand side. Cyclone with the lock-on. Gonna get the Reaper kill in the end. Tank fires, picks off a Hellion already. The few Cyclones up on the high ground. Hanging around. Viking gonna land. He's actually gonna straight up try and bust this. He's gonna go through. He lost the Cyclone lock-ons, which I feel is a pretty big deal, right? His tank's gonna be pretty late to siege. The auto turrets here from INnoVation. Kinda don't like it for Kira at all, but ready to be proven wrong maybe. Is something gonna change around? He's gonna get the tank shot to just save the Cyclone and the tank, and he actually gets the Raven kill. New siege tank though from INnoVation. Kira gets a lock-on. Does he have a scan for it? He does. Target fire is there. He has to move that Cyclone away, but does it too late? The Marines not gonna get the kill because of the SCV surround. Repairing. Liberator shows up in the mineral line. Viking has to lift back up into the skies here. Now INnoVation's dropping down in workers, and Kira will be making up for what is a later third CC from himself. Well, that was just... I mean, if he kills this siege tank, this game maybe even just... I'm not going to say it ends, but obviously then as INnoVation, you can... You know, you can't really stop Kira bringing his own tank further forwards. Reinforcements are better. It becomes really, really tough. INnoVation does hold on, but a few workers down. You know, third base finally flying out into position, but he won't actually land it. So this is actually going to be the third base from Kira mining first, despite being built later on an SCV lead. So it actually works out very well for Kira, and I like this just on siege, and he knows that INnoVation will be coming out to deny this. So going to keep that low health tank alive. Very nicely done by Kira here, who builds up 4 more racks. He will play bio. Now, the biggest issue I see with this right now is that he's trying to play bio off of a very late stim, so it's going to be a lot of time for INnoVation to just build up, where Kira can't really do anything. Right, Kira can't do anything at all for the next little while. See, this rack is going to hop on over to a reactor here. These extra couple of racks going to finish. Yeah, Kira really can't do much. He just has to sort of sit back and let INnoVation do what he wants to do. And INnoVation's going to start pushing. And these kind of pushes with tanks and Vikings are going to be very difficult for Kira to hold in the immediate future here. I like what Kira does, kind of takes a very forward position with his own siege tanks, trying to fight against this. He has the scan, he actually has the first shots there. Actually, oh, shot on the Marine as well, but then actually both players are messing up with their tank shots. No target fire, and I think Kira maybe lost vision as well towards the end, didn't have a new scan. Across the map, a Viking from Kira trying to get into the main, not sure what the plan is with that. It's going to get shot down, so that will fall. I mean, INnoVation backs away, Kira holds the supply advantage, but again, you know, it's INnoVation playing Mech against Kira playing Bio, so Kira's kind of expected to have that supply advantage, right? You know, that's kind of the expectation here. As we're going to be seeing those tanks sieging up from INnoVation. Looking good as we do see another command center from Kira on the bottom side. 4th base getting rolling. A couple of refineries dropping down. Stim pack, combat shields, 1-1 upgrades, all of this coming into play. You will see a single Marine starting to make its way out, up, through into the center of the map. So a single Marine leading the charge. 4th command then just starting to build. I mean, this is the thing. Kira will not really break 3 bases, but maybe you can hold INnoVation off of 4 bases. You see Kira's already 4th base dropped down, finished up, morphing into a planetary. Like, you know, he's so ready to play this longer game again. And that's exactly what you want to be doing as the bio player. Expanding quickly, expanding well. You know, just keeping ahead of the Terran, of the meching player in terms of economy. And Kira's doing a really wonderful job of that. He's really making sure that that is exactly what happens throughout these games. Vikings coming around, going to be setting up. A couple tanks setting up as well here. This Liberator of INnoVation going to be continuing to bring its way across. Out over to the right-hand side. It's going to get a siege up on the 3rd base, so quite a few SCVs going to start dropping down here, actually. So a few SCVs already starting to go down. A bit more of this army of Kira coming out over the left. Aliens moving around. A lot of bio up the top. Couple of Vikings find a way. Medevac gets picked away. Tank shots looking good. 2 Medevac shot down. Rest of these tanks all sieged. Over on the left, as we will see this command center lifting up, moving forwards. So Liberator harassing the third base, so Kyo can't mine from the third, but it's the kind of thing INnoVation needs to do, trying to slow Kyo down a little bit. And it gets to a 4th base. I mean, I guess on Nightshade it's not that hard to hold a 4th. All of these maps are really very easy 4-base maps, aren't they? When you start thinking about it, like maybe not in certain scenarios, like TvZ, this is a harder 4th base to take, but for like TvT, it's very easy to cover these bases with Mech. Kind of crazy. Gonna see the rocks getting knocked down on the top side. Maybe. Here's the thing, though. This is a bit more stretched out than it is on Simulacrum, right? Simulacrum, it's a bit easy to relocate. You've got to go up more and down more ramps here, more choke points. So Kyo might just look to break one position by just overwhelming. He's already going to siege up here and try and see what he can do. Getting a couple of extra tanks siege up. He's going to start breaking down the missile turrets. He's actually going to stim into this. Kyo's going to go for it. I mean, it seems pretty wild to me. I don't really agree with it at all. I mean, he pulls back away, loses a little bit more bio. I don't agree with it at all. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. I'm sorry, guys. That's not a good fight. And he's not really up a base anymore either, right? Like, I get the idea. If you can really get in there and force INnoVation to be a bit out of position and then you jump on it, it can work. But that's obviously not the case at all in terms of what's just happened, so... And these couple tanks going to relocate around and get sieged up. He's going to be in range. He's going to have the vision to get rid of these tanks, and that's going to be no response from INnoVation. So it's actually going to get a couple of kills there. That's really nice. Now he's actually in range of the mineral line even when he gets vision, but he has to scan for that because he doesn't have the air control. That's INnoVation's right now, and INnoVation may be looking to make use of it with the medevacs loading up the Hellbats ready to drop on top of this army. Not even medevacs here from Kyo, so this army that was stimmed earlier is still hurting. 7 SUVs killed. And he sends 1 Marine forward, just trying to check the siege tank range of his opponent. Check to see maybe how far he can edge more tanks further forward. Nice scan, wow. It's good game sense from Kyo, right? It just knows when the scan should come down here. Trades tank for tank. INnoVation knows much better at expanding this game too. Straight up to 5 bases. Faster than the 5 base of Kyo, who's actually not being able to continue building this base. Hasn't resumed building there as the first Liberator pops out, and that's going to push Kyo's tanks back, and low HP tanks are very nearly losing 2 from just 2 Liberator shots. I mean, as Kyo, he does have this base building over here. He needs to, again, resume this one. He's just realized now it's not building, so that's really a shame. I mean, he's trying to keep position, but again, as he kind of works the top side, INnoVation just takes the left. So INnoVation's kind of like, okay, yeah, it's not getting into the same sort of scenario as last time. By any stretch of the imagination, it's actually looking much better for me. And it's just going to be seeing the Vikings coming through here from Kyo. There's a couple of Vikings. I'm not sure. I don't think he was realizing he was fighting here. He didn't stim. He's going to be able to get rid of these couple libs, I think. Does he have the Marine count? Only just. He has so few Marines in this army. Lib's actually got a good few shots off there. INnoVation supply lead at the moment. Kyo with the money to rebuild, but yeah, he's trying to take the entire map. It's just not being as impactful as what he did in the last game. You know, he's trying to play this same style, but without it going as well for him. And INnoVation making some adjustments here to make sure Kyo doesn't get that far ahead. He's expanding much faster himself. And putting himself in a good spot. Tank getting sieged up. You just see the couple of extra factories dropping down from INnoVation in the main base, so setting that up, getting the fusion core too. And again, INnoVation tried a lot of that last game to kind of control the air armies, but never really got anywhere, and you know, never really did a lot with this. This time really going to play for it a little bit more. I guess he shot down a lot of the medevacs, etc. A lot of the fights. Kyo's just going to be sieged up in the center of the map. Holding this out. A bit more army coming in from the bottom right-hand side. Kyo still pressing out in towards the middle. Advanced ballistics on the way on the fusion core as well, so building that up. Getting that underway. And Kyo's just kind of playing pretty passively here as well, right? He's just sort of saying, yeah, you know, I've just got a... Poor Marauder just got auto-attacked. And he's just got the... He's just got this setup where he's like, yeah, I'm just going to sit back and try and continue. Problem is that doesn't work so well against you know, someone who has air control and liberators. And again, he's taking a lot of them bases right now. You can see resources lost as well. For a lot of the last game, Kia was very even until one point. INnoVation got much further ahead. But until that point, INnoVation was really, you know, not trading that well, actually. Despite it being Mech versus Bio. This game, he's already got like a 3,500 lead, and that's really that kind of difference in numbers already. You see this tank getting blown up, Thor shots, picking away at the Vikings here. Bio army coming back around into the center. Scan's gonna drop down. His army spreading out from Q. He's trying to get a wraparound, right? Like he wants to come in from like the top, the center here, and that's what he's gonna try and do. But not a lot actually makes it to the top before he commits in. He'll get towards a couple of tanks, but he's forced away by the sheer amount of damage. INnoVation keeping this strong here. Now he's gonna go drop over here, and obviously that's a good cleanup. I just like INnoVation's position a lot right now compared to what we saw in game number 3. But still time for, you know, Q to break him down. I mean, eventually here, INnoVation still is only on 5 bases against currently an 8-base Q. So there is still that kind of factor of what we saw in the last game too, where eventually INnoVation needs to take bases number 6 and 7. It should be easier for him this time, though. I don't think there's going to be that, you know, last time we saw that fight in the bottom left. You can already see he's kind of setting up this fight now in the top side maybe, but I'm not sure if Q can really put as much pressure on down there because he doesn't really have... You know, it's kind of like last game, Q would have been fighting this base. But now you've got to fight this base. Like, you don't have any presence up there. You don't have any way to get up there. INnoVation gets rid of the Medivacs. That's intentional, right? I mean, doesn't want them, wants to replace them with something else. Doesn't feel like he wants to go how about dropping around. Tell you what, though, Q has built up a Viking count, so it's something very different from the last game, too. Getting that Viking count in play, but he's down on plus... he's got no upgrades at all against +1, +3 of his opponent's Vikings, so... While the Viking counts will be in his favor for the moment, he is also going to be taking worse fights with each Viking. Still trying to expand around the map. Couple tanks setting up, Liberators sieging, and already these tanks getting pushed away. Vikings coming through, and we'll be able to pick off both those Liberators already. Thor gets shot down. Vikings once again trying to come in. Halbat's moving into Hellions. Again, these tanks sieging up, picking away at the missile turret. So, missile turret already going down. Vikings up the top, trying to see what they can get up to. Rest of this army from INnoVation trying to come around the top side as well. Q. Tank gonna get blown up. Couple tanks gonna get blown up. He's really making a play for up here. I mean, he wants to take down these tanks maybe. Gonna have the Vikings trying to come in and protect his Medivacs a bit, but there's the Thors as well, and the Thors definitely make this difficult. He's gonna lose the bottom left-hand base. It's a base he was... Again, he's not really focused on the bottom, right? So it's hard for him to get units there to protect that position. As you can see, the army's still working its way around the top. You're gonna see a bit more of a fight breaking out, but again, with the Thors in play, I just don't think this is ever a fight you can take as Q. And again, his bank is just nowhere near what it needed to be last time to make this work, and... Yeah, like I said, I've been very pessimistic about PQ this game, but it really has been for good reason. It's been going much worse for him. He gets completely cleaned out. Now he doesn't even have the bank set up. He's currently losing bases around the map, actually, and losing SCVs as it goes on as well. Liberator comes in to push these tanks, harassing this planetary back, as we see the Vikings from INnoVation land, cleaning up Q's tanks in the center. It looks as though INnoVation is going to take this to a game 5. It looks as though... I don't think the rapid reignition system is going to save you this time, Q. Yeah, the issue is Q is just mining the same bases as INnoVation and mining so much, you know, mining the same and trading so much worse. Whereas last game he was mining so much more and comfortably more, and he was really able to stop INnoVation getting to base number 6 for such a long time. Doesn't really work at all. So this time, I mean, he already adjusted a little bit and tried to play like Vikings instead. But that's not trimming, or that's not made this be a good enough set of fights for him, basically. So, as he tries to stim in right now, we see the tanks from INnoVation are going to hold on, and this might even be a fast GG from Q, because he's just lost pretty much everything, and INnoVation's got no reason to stop pressing forwards. Just continue to go down the bottom right side. Vikings hunting down a Medivac or so. I mean, it's all going to go down. This game is very much so over, right? I mean, rebuilding at this point isn't going to happen. GG from Cure. He scans around. He wants to just know which number of bases INnoVation was on at the end there. The answer is, well, 6. As we go into game 5. Top left, our blue Terran player. This, from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, is Cure. Taking on our red Terran. Bottom right-hand side, INnoVation. Alright, so 5th final game. These guys have some fun matches, you know. They played a full series in the WardiTV 2020 event as well, which was a lot of fun. Cure came out ahead on that one. Got ahead early in game number 5, I believe, and just sort of rampaged through to a victory in the end. Hey, Gelestius, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub as well. Fresh and new. Thanks so much. Of course, if you got Twitch Prime subs sitting around and want to support the channel, guys, consider dropping on the stream. Helps us out a whole bunch, as always. We do take a little bit of them Twitch Prime subs and put them back into more StarCraft tournaments of our own, etc. So, yeah, check that out. It's always appreciated as we do set up into game 5 of this best of 5. Factory coming down from Cure. As we set this up, get this going. Both players going to go double gas opener, so neither of them going to go for the one gas opener. Which, again, just game 5, not trying to be too greedy or anything, right? Gonna be seeing CVs then coming back home from their scouts, and the Reaper even not gonna do too much from Minnow, just gonna pull that back down the bottom right side. Dropping down the command center in the natural. CC dropping in from Cure and the natural as well. Again, for the moment, mirrored build orders and waiting to see where the difference may come around. Couple of Reapers, the Hellion here from Cure setting this up. And bring the couple Hellions and the Reapers down the map, then Cure trying to see what he can do, trying to see if he can get down the bottom right. Just gonna see a couple of Reapers dropping some grenades. Again, just going to be seeing Cure pulling back up towards the upper left-hand side. So just bring this back. Neither player really going to commit in just yet. Softball jumps to the tech lab. Raven going to build up. Reactor going to finish on the barracks. I'm going to see the factory building up a tech lab as well. On the other side from Cure, he's got pretty much the same setup. He didn't go reactor as early, so he doesn't have... So he has faster tech labs, basically. So, way of a later reactor. Earlier tech labs. Both of them going into the Raven. Hey, what's up, Liquid Pew? Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub as well. So, yes. Whenever you mention Twitch Prime, someone else Twitch Primes. It's amazing. It's like a... You know, every time someone says Twitch Prime is used on the stream, it's beautiful. Thanks so much. Appreciate the support. Reactor coming down. Third CC from both. So actually going to see... Last game we saw Cure trying to be a bit aggressive on no third CC, right? And it didn't really work out. This time we're going to see a third CC from both of them as you see the Hellions coming in. Reapers coming in, picking off a Hellion there right away. And we've seen the Raven and the Cyclone. And the main base also. Again, very passive. Neither player really wanting to go too overboard. And oh my... What? A stim pack upgrade from INnoVation? Hello? Guys, INnoVation's changing it up in game number 5. He's had enough of playing Mech. He's gonna speed this up a little bit in game 5. Okay, okay. Now we just need Cure to do the same, and we'll get a little bit of Marine Tank on Marine Tank, which is always exciting in TvT. I'm excited. Show me the good stuff, guys. Show me the good stuff. Starport drops down onto Reactor. Liberator to... Okay, Liberator and Viking start to build up that CC over on the right-hand side, and we do have the Reaper Hellion pressing forwards already. Hellion taking some damage. Hellion picked off there. Cyclone locks on. Reaper goes down. A couple of Ravens gathering together, and Cure making the push down the bottom side. A couple extra tanks coming across also, and we still just see INnoVation trying to dart in here. Gonna actually get a lock onto a siege tank. Getting off a few units here so far, you know. This tank's gonna get sieged, and you know, he's gonna be in range of the siege, and he doesn't realize it. It's a nice little position. You can see, you know, scans. He's like, what the hell just killed me? You know, it's a little bit of a shame. He does have one Raven of his own. It's a difference. He only went one Raven versus the two, which means he has faster stim, etc. Which means he might be able to do something more with this. Let's see the couple tanks. The Marines all setting up. And we've seen the Ravens still trying to do a little bit more as well. Liberator's going to press forwards here. The tank's going to get picked off. Oh no, he's not. He's going to unsiege to save his siege tanks himself. It's a smarter play. INnoVation, he's been building medevacs. He might be able to swarm this soon. Oh, he's going to get a tank. He's going to drop the turrets. He's going to get the other tanks as well. He can stim in. The stim's huge. It really changes what he can do here. And the tanks, oh, they're so low, but they're not quite dead yet. It doesn't matter. INnoVation's going to absolutely crush this in the end. Tell you what though, INnoVation's down 7 workers. He's not being continuing with the SCV production. Third base not in location. So INnoVation cleans up, but he doesn't have the economy which Cure is working with. And hey, thank you so much, Get Him XS, for the Twitch Prime. See, I told you guys, you mentioned Twitch Prime. Someone's Twitch Prime subscribes. Thank you so much for the support, guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate the subs today. As you do see, INnoVation going to launch a counterattack after winning this fight. He is up 4 tanks to 1. About to be 2. So there will be a second tank here in a moment to try help out. And we've seen Marines coming around the side. Gonna see Vikings hanging around. Shots going down. Tanks do get siege here from INnoVation. He's gonna get a tank on the high ground. That's really big because the tanks are obviously very I mean, it's very tough now because where's the tanks going to go from? Where are the tanks meant to go here from Cure to try and defend this? As INnoVation makes its way in. INnoVation has 1-1, by the way, and combat shields is a massive difference as well on the Marines. So he just has so many Marine upgrades that are helping him out. His Marines here should be able to stim in and kill off this Liberator. He splits up just in case of the siege tank fire, but he's okay. We'll clean out the Lib. The Vikings here hanging out overhead as well. Scans, and he will get rid of this high ground tank before he loses anything himself. He might even be able, as he picks off these Vikings, he might even be able to get rid of 1-1. Or at least +1 attack. That'd be a huge upgrade kill as well, because it's going to keep his Marines very far ahead on the upgrades. And INnoVation is now doing a bit too much. Natural CC siege. And Cure really struggling to clean this up. I mean, his best chance is these Liberators, but the Liberators, I feel like they're out of good positions to take advantage of. He's going to go clean this tank up. That's a smart play from INnoVation too, realizing situation. Maybe the Liberator from here can hit the siege tanks, and INnoVation would have to unsiege and reposition. That tank does go down, by the way. Yeah, it's exactly the best choice for this Liberator to get something done. But he loses the natural command center, and Cure is in a lot of trouble. Cure is in a lot of trouble. I mean, he gets a high ground tank, which is able to get some damage, but now the third base is unprotected. And yeah, it's not pretty. Liberator tries to move further forwards. Here come the Marines stimming in. Again, still no combat shields, and they might be able to clean this up, but INnoVation's follow-up, I mean, they don't even clean this up. GG. And INnoVation is your Kung Fu Cup champ. And he will maintain the highest number of Kung Fu Cup weekly victories. GG's and congrats to him. INnoVation 3, Cure 2 in this